Hello children, welcome to today's session. In today's session, we will discuss about the 15th chapter of your science textbook, that is Improvement in Food Resources. In this chapter, we have already discussed about food resources and need for improvement of food resources, type of crops and atmospheric conditions required for growth of plants, improvement in crop yields, and 3 stages of practices involved in farming. We have already discussed about the major group activities for improving crop yield. These activities include crop variety improvement, in which we studied about hybridization process and formation of genetically modified crops. Then we were discussing about crop production improvement, in which we studied about nutrient management, and in that nutrient management we studied about manure, fertilizers and organic farming. In today's session we will study about irrigation by various methods and different cropping methods or patterns which are involved in agriculture. So children, let us discuss about irrigation first. We know that plants require water and minerals for their proper growth and development. And how that water is given to these crop plants? Through irrigation process. So in irrigation process we provide water to the crop plant. Most agriculture in India is rain fed, that we all know. The success of crops in most areas is dependent on timely arrival of monsoon and sufficient rainfall spread through most of the growing seasons. So, poor monsoon causes crop failure sometimes. Children, we know that monsoons are unpredictable in India. Sometimes it rains heavily, sometimes there is a condition of drought. And water is a very essential component for growth and development of all types of plants. If correct amount of water is not provided to the plant at a correct stage of its life cycle, then it can result in bad crop production or loss to the farmer or no crop production. So it is very essential that crop plants should be provided with sufficient water at particular time. And for this, we need to irrigate that plants artificially. That means we should not be dependent on rainwater all the time. We should have some sources by which we can irrigate our fields at the time when it is required to the crop plant. So irrigation is a process of supplying water to the crop plant at regular interval of time. Water is very essential requirement for the plant for its growth and development. So this water can be provided to plants by various means of irrigation, like reservoirs, by canals, by wells, tube wells, etc. And all these ways by which water is supplied to the plant are various means of irrigation. The irrigation to the plant can be done for various purposes, like crop plants are irrigated with fresh water to supply 2 essential elements to them, that is hydrogen and oxygen, that we have done in our previous sessions also. And irrigation provides sufficient moisture for the germination of seeds, and this is because seeds do not germinate in dry conditions, that we all know. Irrigation is necessary to increase the number of aerial branches in crop plants so as to get good crop yield. Different kinds of irrigation systems are used to supply water to agriculture land, and they are wells, canals, rivers, tanks, check dams, etc. Let us discuss about wells. Children, in your previous classes, you have studied about the traditional ways of irrigating plants. in which you studied about wells and tube wells. So here once again we are discussing the same. In ancient time or in traditional farming, people used wells to take out water and irrigate their fields. These wells are of two types, dug well and tube well. In the dug well, water is collected from water-bearing stratas of the earth, whereas in case of tube well, water can be tapped from the deeper stratas of earth. From these wells, water is lifted by pumps for irrigation purpose. Now, in this slide, you can see the pictures of both dug well and tube well. Now, let us discuss about canals. Canals are usually an elaborate and extensive irrigation system. And in this system, canals receive water from one or more reservoirs or from any other types of reservoir like rivers, etc. And the main canal is divided into branches, and these branch canals are further divided into different small distributaries which reach to the crop field and irrigate the fields. There is another type of system of irrigating plant, that is river lift system. In areas where canal flow is insufficient or irregular due to any reason, in that areas water is directly drawn from the rivers for irrigation purpose, but the limitation with this system is that it is possible only in the areas which are very close to rivers. So if river is flowing in that area, then only we can irrigate the fields which are present near that river area through this system. Then there is one more system of irrigating plants, that is tanks. These are small storage reservoirs which intercept and store the runoff of smaller catchment areas. Then there are check dams. These are used to stop rainwater from flowing away, or it is one of the way of conserving water or harvesting water, and this water helps to increase underground water level and reduces soil erosion at the time of drought or when it is not raining. In very hot conditions, that water which is reserved in dams can be released and can be utilized for irrigating various types of croplands. Now there are two types of advanced ways of irrigation. These are sprinkler irrigation and drip irrigation. Children, you have already studied about these two types of irrigation in your 8th standard. So let us quickly summarize these two ways of irrigation. Sprinkler irrigation is a method of applying irrigation water which is similar to rainfall. In sprinkling irrigation system, the water is distributed through pipes and with the help of pumping machine. It is then sprayed into air and irrigated onto the entire soil surface through spray heads, so that it breaks up into small water droplets which can fall on the ground. Now, there are some advantages of sprinkler irrigation system. Water measurement is easier in sprinkler irrigation system as compared to surface irrigation system. Less interference with cultivation and less land loss is there, and higher application efficiency is there in sprinkler irrigation system. High and frequent use can be effectively accomplished in case of sprinkler irrigation. Whenever you want, you can switch off the sprinklers and immediately you can close it off also. And in a day, again and again, on the basis of demand of the plants or the crop which is growing, we can use these sprinklers. So easy machinization and automation is there. Now let us discuss about drip irrigation. As its name suggests, here drip, something drips out from the pipes onto the roots of the crop plants. So drip irrigation is one of the method of irrigation which saves water and fertilizers. It is considered to be the best method in which there is no wastage of water. In drip irrigation method, water drips slowly to the roots of the plant, either onto the soil surface or directly onto the root zone through a network of pipelines, valves, tubes, etc. The process is completed in narrow tubes so that water is given directly onto the root of the crop plants. Drip irrigation is also known as localized irrigation or micro irrigation. There are so many advantages of drip irrigation. Water is used at maximum level as water is applied locally and leaching is reduced, and fertilizers and nutrient loss is minimized in this process. Weeds cannot absorb water as no water is available for the root of the wheat plants. Drip irrigation prevents soil erosion of the cropland and it helps in increasing the infiltration capacity of the soil. The fertilizers and the groundwater is not mixed and it helps in seed germination, which is more improved in case of drip irrigation. And it is not necessary to level the entire crop field. We can irrigate water in regular shaped lands and energy cost is reduced as it is operated in lower pressure than other methods of irrigation. Now let us discuss about the disadvantages of drip irrigation. It is very expensive method. It involves so much of cost. The lifetime of the tubes used in drip irrigation can be shortened by the sun, which causes damage and wastage. It may cause clogging or if water is not filtered very clearly. Problems in moisture distribution can occur. Salinity problem can also occur. We all are aware of drought. In India, every year during summer, there are certain parts which suffer with drought. Drought occurs because of scarcity or no supply of rainwater in that area. So drought poses a threat to rain-fed farming areas where farmers do not use any other means of irrigation and they totally dependent on rainwater for irrigating their crop fields. So light soils have less water retention capacity in them. In areas with light soils, crops get adversely affected by drought conditions. Nowadays, scientists have developed some of the crop varieties which can even tolerate the drought conditions and can grow very well in scarcity of water. Fresh initiatives are also taken to increase agriculture in India by various means. Like rainwater harvesting, we all know by collecting and storing rainwater, we can again use it further when it is required. By formation of small dams and check dams, again we can collect water at a very larger scale and we can supply that water to canals, river whenever it is required for irrigation purpose. Then watershed management is another way by which we can provide water for irrigating crop plants and help in growing more and more crop plants. Now children, we will study about various types of cropping patterns. Different ways of growing crops can be used to give maximum benefit by agriculture. There are various ways by which we can grow the crops in a specific way. These methods which are used for growing crops are mixed cropping method, intercropping method and crop rotation. There are various models of raising crop plants which help in obtaining maximum benefit from the crop field and reduce the risk of crop failure and disease and pest attack on the crop. There are mainly three types of cropping patterns which we are going to discuss here. That is mixed cropping pattern, then intercropping method and crop rotation. So let us begin with mixed cropping pattern. In mixed cropping pattern, as its name suggests, that more than one variety of crops are grown in a same cropland. In this slide you can see that there are more than one crops growing in a crop field. When a crop is growing in a crop field, there are various type of threats, like the crop can be damaged by pests, crop can get some infection of virus, fungal or bacterial, or maybe sometimes the weather conditions are not favorable for one type of crop. So in all these type of condition, if one crop is getting affected by these reasons, then it is not essential that other crop will also get affected by all these reasons and get damaged. So if in case one crop is not growing well, the other crop can grow well in that cropland. So these are the advantages of mixed cropping. The basic objective of mixed cropping is to minimize the risk and to ensure against the crop failure due to abnormal weather conditions. And there are different combinations of crops which can be grown all together in this method, like maize and urad bean can be grown together, wheat and mustard, barley and chickpeas can be grown together, cotton and moong, which is also known as green gram, can be grown together, and wheat and chickpeas can also be grown together. Now the other type of cropping pattern is intercropping pattern. Intercropping pattern is a practice of growing two or more than two types of crops simultaneously in a same piece of land in a definite row pattern. Children, in this slide you can see different types of crops and you can see different rows of all these three types of crops. In this slide you can see that crops which are shown here are maize, soybean and oat, and you can see sequential alternate rows of all these three types of crops. So this system is known as intercropping system. This system is an improved version of mixed cropping system. All the crop combinations in mixed cropping also be practiced in the intercropping system, but row and patterns are definite here. Children, now let us discuss about the differences between mixed cropping system and intercropping system. Mixed cropping system aims to minimize the risk of crop failure, whereas intercropping system aims to increase the productivity of the crop in that cropland. Mixed cropping system is a system in which the different types of seeds are mixed with each other before sowing. Whereas in case of intercropping system, the seeds are not mixed together. In mixed cropping system, there is no set pattern of rows for growing or for sowing different types of seeds. Whereas in case of intercropping system, there is a specific point of this type of system is that there are different types of rows in which different types of crops are grown in a very systematic manner. In mixed cropping, it is very difficult to apply fertilizers, pesticides or any other kind of nutrient into the crop field. Whereas in intercropping system, on the basis of demand of different type of crops which are grown all together, we can use different type of fertilizers, pesticide, insecticides, etc. Because here the rows of different types of crops are different, so the application of different fertilizers or different pesticide, insecticides is very easy. In case of mixed cropping, the spraying of pest control chemicals is very difficult, whereas it is easy in case of intercropping system. Harvesting is difficult in case of mixed cropping system, as it is possible that different types of crop can harvest or get matured in different time period. Whereas in case of intercropping system, different types of crops can be harvested in different time period, because here there is no mixing of crops. In case of mixed cropping, the marketing and consumption of only mixed produce is possible. Whereas in case of intercropping system, product of each crop can be marketed and consumed separately. The third type of cropping pattern is crop rotation. It can be defined as the practice of growing of different crops on a same piece of land in a pre-planned succession manner. Growing leguminous crops after growing cereal crops helps to increase soil fertility. If crop rotation is done properly, 2 or 3 types of crop can be grown in a year with maximum profit through it. Not only 2 or 3, there are different types of crop rotation processes in which more than 2 or 3 types of crops can be grown. So here in this slide you can see a table in which type of crop rotation is written and the components of crops which are involved in crop rotation are shown. So here you can see that 3 types of rotations are here. 1 year rotation in which 2 types of crops are taken. These crops can be in combination of maize and mustard and rice and wheat. In 2 year crop rotation system, we can select again maize, mustard, sugarcane and fenugreek crops. And in another pattern, we can get maize, potato, sugarcane and peas. In 3 year crop rotation system, we can grow rice, wheat, moong, mustard, sugarcane and berseem all together, one after the other. And we can also grow cotton, oat, sugarcane, peas, maize and wheat in one succession period. So selection of crops for crop rotation. Most commonly the leguminous plants are included for crop rotation program, as these plants have a very special type of capability in them, that they have root nodules which are present in them, in which symbiotic bacteria are present, which helps in nitrogen fixation, and this helps in increasing the fertility of the soil. There are so many types of advantages of crop rotation practice. By alteration between deep and shallow rooted plants, the soil may be utilized more completely. Many types of crop can be grown in succession with only one time soil preparation. Crop rotation reduces the need of use of fertilizers into the crop field. It also controls pests and weeds in that crop field. Children, here in this slide you can see one cycle or succession of different types of crops through crop rotation process, in which different types of crops can be grown one after the other, getting maximum benefit from that cropland by less utilization of artificial fertilizers into that croplands. Now there is a question for you. This question is taken from your textbook. This question is having 3 different conditions. You have to think logically and write the answer correctly in your rough notebook. The question is, which of the following conditions will give the most benefits? Why? The first condition is, farmers use high quality seeds, do not adopt irrigation or use fertilizers. Second condition is, farmers use ordinary seeds, adopt irrigation and use fertilizers. And the third condition is, farmers use quality seeds, adopt irrigation, use fertilizers and use crop protection measures. Children, this question is very easy. Hope you will write the answer correctly in your rough notebook. You will choose the correct answer from here. Now let us wrap up what we have done today. Today we discussed about crop production management, in which we discussed about different types of irrigation processes, and then we discussed about different cropping patterns